Good morning, this is Terry from Fabric Junction, and today I'm here to show you how to do a block called Ranger's Pride. Now it's a little different than some of the other ones that we have been doing lately. Has the pinwheel in the middle, and on the outer edge it's just a little bit different look, but it is so simple to put together. So there's the potholder. Here are the blocks that I did for the quilt. And like I said, it looks complicated, but once I show you how I put it together, you'll notice it is just really, really simple. The first thing to do is to imagine it in 4 sections, and each section being a triangle. And this is the triangle I'm talking about. I just want that much right there. Because my first instinct when I saw this was to make the pinwheel in the middle. But that made the outer edge of it a little more complicated, and then I realized if I put it together in sections it'll go together much more smoothly. So I've got my pieces laid out. Those go there and those go there. So the first one I'm going to do, we'll put the little triangles together. Very simple. Pull them together. This is the side I want to sew, so I want to line up that side. So put that together quickly here, hopefully. And press to what I consider the darker. Okay, so I have that. Now, the lower pieces, these are cut bigger than what you need, so when we sew them on, because this one will line up here, you'll have the extension, but you need that so you create that mitered look. So these edges have that great look. To do that, we need to add our piece just like we do when we do a flying geese. Difference is our piece is longer. So make sure when you line these up, you have the longer side to the same side to be consistent all the way around. To mark this, very easy. Take any of your squares, find your 45-degree line, and you're going to line up the 45-degree line on the top edge of your piece. Now when I do this, and I want to mark it, I actually, if Christopher gets in a little closer, I put my pencil right on that point because I don't want the ruler on there. So the ruler actually ends up like a thread's distance off of here. If I lined it up right on the edge, my pencil mark would be clear over here, and I'll show you when I move it. That's the difference that I get. So when I line it up, I put the point of my marking tool first, and then I line it up straight. Whoop. Make sure I keep it down, and then I gently make my line. Now I know exactly where I'm going to sew. Now the next trick on this particular one, most of the time I just trim them. But this time, because of how I need to attach the triangle and to keep it simple for me, I want to trim this exactly 1/4 inch. So I find a line, I trim it 1/4 inch. Okay? Now we'll press, and the next step will show you the reason. If you trim that 1/4 inch, we don't have to think as hard. What did I do? Setting them up the wrong way. There we go. We don't have to think as hard when we line this up, because here's the trick. Take this, flip it over, and line this side here up with the edge of this seam. So once you line that up, and you can feel it a little bit, get it lined up nice. And if you think it's going to shift on you, go ahead and slip a pin in, because then I actually start sewing from the other end. And this is what I mean by you'll have this unusual tail. Like I said, we need it to create our mitered corner. So there's one. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. Line it up, find my seam. Okay, and now I'll go to the other side. And I have no idea why I decided to sew it from this side. I just did. So that's the habit that I formed. So now I have both of them. Now when you're doing all four, the next thing you want to do is when we press, we want to alternate our seams. So by that I mean you want the seam to go towards the triangles on one, and you want it to go away from the triangles on the other. So when you butt them up, there we go. When you butt them up, they'll just kind of snuggle right into each other. But before we can sew the two together, let's trim them. Take your, I'm going to have to grab a bigger roller. Take your ruler, line it up, and if you notice, you can line up basically straight across, straight this way, and we're going to trim off that little extra. And the other side, the same. I'm coming across the bottom, across the top, and get that little dog ear at the same time. And I've created this beautiful triangle. And we'll do the same on this one. And there she is. This one here, as you can see, I don't have the full point, but it's smaller than a seam allowance. So I'm not super concerned about it, as long as I know I can get my seam allowance in there. Okay, next step. That one is, so I'm going to switch these around. So when I attach them to here, I have them alternating. Whoops, that one's pressed down. This one's pressed up. Yep, there we go. Now to match, I just match up this little section. I can match up the center. And I sew from the center out. Keeping my little sections lined up. There we go. Go ahead and put the two together. And remember, when we have all these intersections, put your pin straight in where it makes an X, and I double check that it's up on that point. On the other side, flip the seam over, find where the two cross, line them up next to each other, get your pin to stand up nice and tall. Take a second one and slip in there to hold it. Okay, that is the biggie. Then on the outer side, these little guys I can hold in place. I got a little bit of curl in that one. He doesn't want to lay down like he's supposed to. There he goes. Okay. Now I am ready. Take that little intersection down. There we go. On to the next one. Right across that intersection. Now I can line up my seams here. One thing you'll notice that a lot of this is on the bias, so it does stretch, and I can stretch it. And I'm trying not to. I'm trying to let the machine feed it nice and even, because it is easy to stretch when you've got bias seams. And that is how easy it is to put that block together. But someone else will look at it and they'll go, oh, I don't want to do that. It's that hard. I get the pinwheel, but I can't do... No, we do it a little different. It creates a great block. So once I was done, I took my 1.5 by 6.5 to the sides, 1.5 by 8.5 across the top and the bottom, and I have my pot holder. Now, like with all of our pot holders, I cut an oversized back. I've been adding 1 layer of batting, also oversized, and 1 layer of Insulbright. And I've told you in the past, you can either use 3 to 4 layers of cotton or 1 layer Insulbright, your choice. You can create the combination that you want. But definitely, if the Insulbright is in there, do not put these in the microwave. Check out our video on attaching your binding on your pot holder. And check us out at fabricjunction.com. So I hope that you like this video. I hope that you like this block, because it is a fun block. Check us out at junctionfabric.com, or go to our blog site, get the cutting instructions for exactly this site. And thank you again for watching us here at Fabric Junction.